Wait until I actually see that we're live on YouTube to give Don the signal.
Oh, I think Don looks better like this.
I think I look better like this too.
Just the white blurb that goes.
We're doing the white thing, huh? It's all about color to you, Dave. Okay.
Yeah, I'm colorblind.
You'll be colorblind in a minute. Just you wait.
Oh no, I'm really scared.
I'm really scared about the sounds behind him.
Oh my god! Oh, my screaming children! Yeah, that's great.
Wasn't that a soap opera in the '80s? All my screaming children.
What time do you start torturing your kids on Friday night?
Apparently, they're up late tonight because there's a library Valentine's party that they just attended, which is clearly.
That sounds like a lot of sugar. That sounds like.
If it's a library party, they shouldn't be making any noise.
That's a good point.
We came home. The fun part about doing it.
They came home, so it's go time.
Right.
That's a drawback. Now, okay. We are live, guys. So, Mr. Shanahan, we're waiting to see you.
Oh, man. There it is, boys. There it is, boys.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a really good job, though.
It is
a really good job.
This is like wax crayon that my kids use at the zoo. This is a yellow dress shirt I use for work and an inside out Hulk t-shirt.
This is nice.
And an actual Infinity Stone up at the top.
Nice.
Whatever it's
I love it. I love it.
Crude, fit for a Halloween episode.
It works.
I
think you're somewhere outside of the hex, just kind of falling apart.
Kind of like that in between.
Right. Not to spoil where we're going, guys, but I do feel like I'm falling apart.
It's like total eclipse of the heart now. Okay, well, thank you. Or should I call you Viz?
Sure, Viz. Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are here. David, that's the proper reaction. Start drinking. We are here for the weekly WandaVision Wecap. And I'm joined once again by Earth's Mightiest critics. We have Don the Vision Shanahan from Every Movie Has a Lesson and 25 Years Later. We have Emmanuel Noisette of EMan's Movie Reviews and a billion other different ventures, the busiest man on the internet, I believe. And also David Fowley of Keeping It Real. And we also have Mark Krawczyk here in the chat hanging out as always. Thank you very much for joining us and hanging out. And you can also join us in the chat. We are taking questions, comments, theories. We're going to go places tonight. As always, we are going to start off with some high-level non-spoiler talk about WandaVision episode 6, which dropped on Disney Plus this morning. We've all had a chance to watch it, I assume, and we're going to talk about it. We'll get into spoilers in a bit, but first of all, let's talk about what we thought. What do we think of the episode? First, I forgot to catch the episode's title. What's this one called this week?
Halloween something, isn't it?
Yeah,
season of the Wanda Maximoff.
Halloween Spooktacular.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Very Simpsons. All right, so Don, Vision.
Yes, you need the recap or?
Yes, I want the give us the recap. Reach into that computerized super brain of yours and give it to us.
Synthezoid.
Hold on. Somebody hit my head here.
Synthezoid. Okay. Yes, I'm sorry.
No, folks, we have reached likely the early aughts. I think we can put this on thanks to the movie theaters that show me it's The Incredibles and The Parent Trap playing. We have reached the early aughts, a very Malcolm in the Middle-esque kind of time for WandaVision. And the kids have all grown up. The kids have not quite really grown up, but they've gotten a little wiser and a little smarter. And Uncle Pete's in the house to have a little fun with them. It is the Halloween episode in Westview, and the town all of a sudden has children and treats and candy. And our two young little lads get to have a nice their first Halloween. At the same time as they do that, Wanda, Vision, and Pietro get to put on a few classic duds to kind of go with their good outfits. Nothing quite as good as this, but they do what they can to look the part for Halloween. At the same time, the volatile shimmer from last week, the hex. The volatile hex from last week has gotten it equally unstable thanks to Wanda's reinforcement of whatever is going on, but that has not stopped Hayward and the boys outside from trying to overstep and see what's going on inside. At the same time, we have some changes afoot in terms of teams and people, and we have some signaling things that either reinforcements are on the way or reinforcements, being stuck. One way or another, the circus is in town, and that is your recap for episode 6. There we go.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to get one quick correction for Mark. No, this is not a show about Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar.
I wish. No.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I really want to.
Yeah, when's the embargo for that, guys? No,
I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna wig out about a different show, which is WandaVision episode 6. So it's weird because there was a lot of stuff going on in this episode, but deceptively so, because it seemed like a lot of just carnival Halloween episode of hijinks with Uncle Pete, as they were called, as he was referred to, running around with the kids and just kind of getting into trouble and exasperating the parents. The parents have a little bit of a squabble, but there's lots going on outside the shimmer, especially in that last 5 minutes. But we'll save that for the spoilers. Are we still on the WandaVision high with week 5, episode 6?
I am. I have to say, a lot of what happened in this episode, I wasn't really surprised by it. I mean, I kind of figured a lot of the stuff. Honestly, the most interesting part of this episode was what was happening in the Hex. Because I was really interested to see where. I was so glad that Evan Peters was still around and as Pietro. And I was glad to see that he was kind of a way to, let's say, regulate Wanda in a way. Just kind of like, hey, there's one scene where they're hanging out in the town square, and he's like, "You can talk to me. I'm not your husband. I'm family, basically." There's this whole meta thing about why he looks different, why they both don't have accents. I liked all that stuff a lot. The stuff happening outside, I kind of figured. The stuff happening with Vision, I kind of figured that that's where we were going. But what was happening inside the Hex with the whole, Malcolm in the Middle type of vibe, and Vision kind of wandering around, around the neighborhood, was really cool to me. It's kind of a Halloween episode, but it's also kind of like Twilight Zone-y, especially for Vision. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, I'm glad we're here. I saw previews of the whole Halloween episode for a while, and I'm glad we're here. I'm not disappointed. It's just I'm not like totally surprised. The one thing I am surprised about is just the fact that the part that I was so interested in was the stuff going on in the Hex, the whole dynamic between the siblings, the young twins, and how they're developing. It's very interesting stuff.
I'll second Dave, and I really enjoyed the Twilight Zone aspect of where we're starting to see the edges of the limits and edges of Wanda's control and the functions of this place, and that was fascinating. And for Vision to kind of start to awaken to that was fun watch. I'm right there with David.
Cool. How about you, EMan?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, this wasn't as jaw-dropping as episode 5, but I think it still served to be a satisfactory episode. I mean, I was still happy with what we got. Definitely prodded more questions, but it also, I think, brought some more answers and confirmation to certain things as well. I love the Malcolm in the Middle type of element because, it introduced, the show was already poking at trying to be kind of meta, but because Malcolm in the Middle kind of already broke the fourth wall, now it had even further excuse to do that. So I really liked the fact that, that was happening. I liked how, Quicksilver was kind of asking questions that we had, and certain things, but, there's some interesting things that have developed, and I do think that they're continuing to set up other things for the future as well, through just little quick lines, quick blurs, and stuff. So I'm sure we'll get to that to the spoilers, but this was a good episode to hold us over until next week. We got like 3 left. There's 3 left. So I'm expecting fireworks at this point.
I think the fuses are lit. They're escalating nicely.
For sure.
It's turning into a circus, guys.
Circus, I tell you.
Something awesome this way comes for sure. One thing I've noticed, though, the last couple of weeks, maybe it was been this way since the beginning, and I haven't picked up on it, but the runtime is like 38, 40 minutes. but I'm realizing that the proportion. Yeah, but the proportion of the credits is like the same as Marvel movies.
Like it's a bag of chips. It's a bag of chips. That's all it is. Yep. Because I was looking at that too. I was like, "Ooh, 36 something minutes. All right, cool. 20 minutes. What are you doing?"
Yeah, and you still get a commercial along the way. You know, they squeak and squish. Yeah.
Can we just go right in and talk about that commercial really quick here?
Hold on.
No spoilers. Go ahead.
No. Is that spoilers? Is it commercial spoilers or what?
Man, we need to go to spoilers. I'm sorry. I need to
digest. Got 4 other shows to do.
I gotta dissect some stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can totally do that. And we're talking spoilers.
I like that bar.
Who's doing this to you, Wanda? That's Wanda, cool. Who's doing this to you, Wanda?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so David, what do you want to talk about regarding that?
Well, I think these commercials have been very clever all along, and this is definitely a late '90s, early aughts vibe of kids time zone, lunch snack type, animation commercials. It's for like yogurt. I forget what it's called. Magic.
Yo Magic.
It's your magic, Wanda. And it's a guy isolated on an island. And he does get this. A shark pops out of the talking shark at that pops out of the water. Maybe it's from Wundagore. Who knows? Pops out of the water. Yeah. Pops out of the water and tells the kid about this snack. Gives him the snack. It's really hard to open for the kid. And time passes, and he's deteriorating with time. Time, guys. Have we talked about time before on the show? It's clever, a nice little claymation type thing. I saw the episode twice, and if at first I just kind of, oh, that's cute, and then when I watched it again, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. We're playing with time. We're playing with this could be symbolic of Vision, kind of stuck in the hex. If he gets out, he's kind of deteriorating. And he's holding on to Magic, Wanda's magic. It's very interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering if there's something else going on there too.
Darkest one they've done too.
Yeah, definitely. It's disturbing, especially because, well, first of all, the animation is wonderful. It looks like old school claymation. But what I'm wondering is the fact that he can't open the pull tab on the yogurt, because it should be something. It's not like a child-proof cap or something. It's a yogurt pull tab, but he can't do it. It's like he doesn't have the strength. It's not so much that he can't figure it out. It's like he doesn't have the strength to do something that shouldn't take very much strength at all. It takes him almost more energy to talk to the shark than it does to open up this pull tab. So I don't know. I'm wondering if there's something else going on there.
I think Mark's on it right there.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Hold on. See if we can get a comment and a banner up here. Yes, we can.
Oh, that's perfect.
Vibranium is degrading. That is how Hayward is tracking him.
That's degrading comment. Oh, I mean, yeah, I agree. I also like Mark's other comment about seeing Jimmy Woo kick ass, and that's Wanda actually utters the line "kick ass" right after Evan Peters, and of course Evan Peters was in Kick Ass, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, it was cool to see. That was
Taylor too.
That's true. That's true. Both Quicksilvers.
That meme is getting workout this week.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So he's talking about Woo as an agent kicking ass and kind of escaping the trio, Darcy, Monica, and Woo, kind of getting out of Hayward's radius, and they were kind of kicked out. But then they have a nice little kick-ass moment, and it was cool. Honestly, I didn't know Jimmy had it in him, so it's pretty cool.
Now, real quick, because that kick-ass line comes, it's something that she repeats because she's feeding off of something Pietro says, and they draw so much attention to it that I was reminded that Kick-Ass it's like an offshoot of a Marvel property. It was under Marv, which was the Mark Millar kind of branding. I wonder if there's any conception of if that's just an Easter egg for comics fans, or if there's some idea that, hey, we're going to introduce the X-Men. What if we wrapped, could we see
Kick-Ass and Hit Girl.
And Hit Girl show up at some point.
I was really hoping for like a Hit Girl in Kick-Ass costume wandering around the streets, somebody in it.
Mm-hmm.
We did have in the background, a confused trick-or-treater who was wearing a Freddy sweater and a Jason hockey mask.
I like that. That was good.
That's clever.
Good. Yeah, there's...
I go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I enjoy the slow reveals we've been getting with these townspeople, and like I said earlier, but seeing the fringes and things where, just the little lines that are starting to come out, like, do you want something changed? Like, ooh, wait, like, are they under her control? Or are they serving her at the same time?
Or
how much of this is being some teamwork, some orchestration, and what that, or even just that line later, like, this is what you wanted, wasn't it? Or isn't it? And like, just like who's in on it, who's not, is making you wonder all the while. And especially to have that scene with Vision and Agnes, because we've all suspected for a while here that Agnes is Agatha, and then that she's likely a puppeteer of this. But now we get a very, even if it's bait and switch, we get a very cool scene of Catherine Hahn as gripped and stuck in this as anybody else.
Well, here's a question, because first Mark commented his opinion is that Kick-Ass is just a red herring, and I'm totally open to that.
Yeah.
But as far as Agnes, that was been the speculation on this crew since the beginning. Is Agatha Harkness? What if she's not Agatha Harkness yet? Is there a possibility that she leaves the hex and gets powers, just like we've seen with Monica Rambeau? Maybe she breaks out. Maybe at the end of this, the hex bursts and everybody who's inside is somehow unleashed onto the world as mutants or otherwise changed beings.
How far away is Westchester from Westview?
It's New York to New Jersey. It's not that far.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I think. Look, first of all, I don't trust her. And I'm looking at the reactions that she had versus the reaction to Norm versus the reaction to Monica.
Yeah,
both people were traumatized, like Norm and Monica. She didn't seem as traumatized. She seemed more like she just woke up, rather than, oh my God, I was living this, nightmare and I was suffering. She was more like, am I dead? Like, oh, what happened? It was more like, I'm sorry, like, I startled you for a minute rather than I woke you up from like this ongoing nightmare. So I don't trust Agatha or Agnes. And, I already shared my theory earlier that I think that there is a connection as to what her true agenda is. I'm a little stuck on that agenda more so than anything. Do you want me to run it down real quick?
I know you made a video about it, and I'll link to it. And this is good because I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. But give us the bullet points. Yeah.
So basically, my question was like, if she's Agatha the Witch, right? Like, and I think that's like the worst kept secret in Marvel right now.
Yeah, right.
So if she is Agatha the Witch, that means that clearly, she has power, she has magic, she's something, whatever she is, right? And the thing that I was thinking was like, okay, well, what is she doing here? How is she doing whatever she's doing, and why? Like those are the three. And the what I think she's doing, she's maintaining this reality. She wants this to keep going.
Yeah.
How is she doing that? She's doing it by being helpful. Anytime this reality is about to be disturbed, she happens to do something to keep it going, whether that's subliminally mentioning having kids or making sure that you have a dinner so that the job promotion is there. If you have a family and the kid and a nice job, you don't want to leave, right? But then I was also thinking like, okay, in the comics, she had the ability to wipe minds. So she has some level of mind control. Maybe she's a hypnotist. Maybe she's a therapist. And she can, put in ideas because clearly Wanda is susceptible to suggestion. And we've seen that a couple different times. So, for example, with Pietro, he was mentioned with Monica. He was mentioned with the twins. He never popped up. He only popped up after it was revealed to Agnes that she can bring back or fix the dead. So that's like, there's something there. So now the real question is, why? Yep. Why does she want to do any of this? Why do you want to keep this reality going? Why do you want to manipulate stuff? And the one thing I was thinking about was, thinking bigger picture with Marvel. If Wanda is going to connect to Doctor Strange 2, the sequel, and a lot of people were thinking about like, well, who's the villain and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like, well, the villain has got to be whatever got set up in Doctor Strange, right? Which is Baron Mordo. And I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, what's the one thing about Baron Mordo? And I went back and watched the movie post-credit scene. This dude is stealing magic because there are too many sorcerers. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, wait a minute. If you're stealing magic, wait, why are you doing that? For more power. So I'm thinking, what if Agnes is pumping Wanda up to steal power from her? Because Wanda's clearly on a different magical plane in this reality. And if she is a witch, if you do get powerful and stuff from stealing magic, maybe that's the thing. So that's why I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, I can't trust her. And anytime there's something weird, I feel like she's doing this. And that goes back to the commercial. If you looked at, when David was talking about the commercial, it was something about the last line in the commercial that said something like magic, the food of survivors, or something like that.
Snack for survivors,
for survivors. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, is Agnes consuming magic to stay alive? Crazy.
I'm digging this, EMan.
Hey man. I'm just
this guy knows how to monologue.
I just throw him out there.
No, I love that theory. I'm wondering if when are they going to start rolling some of this stuff out? I mean, are they going to get Chiwetel Ejiofor to show up? They do, but I'm just saying this is the kind of stuff that if your theory is correct, I almost want to start seeing evidence of that, like laid out next episode, because this is a lot to unpack. It's an interesting idea. One of my theories I was thinking before you started opening up about the Baron Mordo thing was similar to what you're saying earlier about is she a shrink? Is she a townsperson who maybe with some of the other townspeople have figured out that something is off, and they're trying to, they've got a level of awareness that they're trying not to let on, that they don't know exactly what's going on or how to fix it, but they know something's off, which is why she's conspiring with Herb, a few episodes ago. Right. Yeah, kind of like in that episode that people have compared this series to, of the Twilight Zone, with the little kid, wishing kids way into the cornfield, and you've got the adults conspiring in the corner, like, just when he's not looking, hit him over the head, kind of a deal. I don't know. It might not be that simple. It may be more complex and rich, like something that EMan is suggesting. What's Mark have to say? He's saying he's been commenting a lot, so I want to get some of his thoughts on screen here. Agnes was actually under control, but did she have herself put under as cover? Is it like a Cumberbatch? Is Cumberbatch actually Khan? When Wanda realizes
Star Trek reference.
Yes.
Hold on, was it? Okay.
Damn you, JJ. When Wanda realizes Viz is not under her control, it is a reality check to Wanda, who starts doubting the world and herself. Pietro is meant to remove the doubt.
Yes.
And
because he's a very
he reels.
And of course, the most obvious comment of the evening: EMan is just the master of theories.
Right.
That could be your superhero name.
I wish. No, to touch on Mark's point though, like that's it though, right? Like if you go back to that scene, what was happening? Like between that spat between Vision and Wanda, Vision was like, "Yo, this is wrong. This is bad," and Wanda was just kind of like, "I think it." Ding dong. Like right there.
Yeah.
Boom.
And in this episode, Pietro confirmed her, saying, "Hey, this isn't bad. It's not wrong.
Right.
It's impressive. Right. I mean, you used to do all these little mind tricks and our nightmares and everything, and now look what you can do."
Exactly.
And
he
so
brings such a dynamic to the show.
Yeah.
I mean, like what an arrival.
Well, he's kind of validating her, but also, his levity is also somewhat. She has her limits when it comes to putting up with his levity, because when he mentions your dead husband can't die twice, and she's like,
right,
yeah,
it's just a little sibling jab.
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely getting along like siblings, I just like that stuff where she's like, "Why do you look different?" And he's like, "Where's your accent?" And she's like, "Where's yours?" And like EMan was saying, he's a lot of the questions. He's taking on a lot of these questions that we've already had. But
just to touch on something else that Mark said though was like, I think she always knew that Vision wasn't under her control. And one thing I had mentioned like in like one of my other breakdowns was that she can't put him under control. I mean, she can, because she literally was like, "Can't I?" And yes, she could, but it literally would violate what they have, which is trying to be in love. Like you can't have love without free will. But the consequence of free will is that maybe somebody can choose to reject you or think on their own. And so that, I think, is the compromise that Wanda's having. She's like, I want you to love me, so I'm not going to put you under my control. But that also gives you the ability to think for yourself. And we already see what that's leading Vision to do.
Okay. All right. My next question is stepping outside of the hex, because I got to know. We're in spoiler territory and we're in the show. When Monica says, "My guy will be here in an hour,"
I was just going to bring that up.
Who's our guy?
Yeah, look.
Come on, Theory Man.
Look, I got two.
Nick Fury?
Let's hear him.
I got two. No. He's not an aeronautical engineer or whatever.
No.
Wyatt Wingfoot. Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I wonder if because I don't know if that is connected to the Elizabeth Olsen interview where, she was saying that there's a Luke Skywalker moment that's going to break the internet and stuff. And at first I was sitting there thinking like, ooh, is it Magneto? Is it, Professor X? Like, what are they doing? But
Mom and Dad got referenced.
Yeah, but now that Monica is saying this, I'm thinking it could be only two people.
Oh, boy.
Either
Reed.
John Krasinski walks through that door,
blows
everybody away.
He's still my heart.
Blows everybody away.
Oh my gosh!
If you've watched his little YouTube thing during the pandemic, he had that little goof because it was reported he met with Marvel. So maybe
make it happen.
But the only other one, and this is my personal favorite, if they do this,
Ben Grimm,
Blue Marvel.
Ooh.
You bring Blue Marvel, Adam Bashir.
Ooh.
Because him and Monica. Oh, Blue Marvel's basically a black Superman. Like, this dude is super smart. He's Jesus. He's like great. He's just great. He's awesome. He's stronger than the Hulk. Like, he's ridiculously smart. But him in the comics, him and Monica have a thing, together. So that's why I'm wondering, like, oh, is that your little friend?
Okay, help me out though. I have literally never heard of Blue Marvel. What is he affiliated with?
He's not the most widely known. Like, I want to say,
is that an internet breaker?
Kevin Gervais? I think it was Kevin Gervais that created him.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a recent product as of like
08, it looks
20,
like
30 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
08.
Yeah. If you don't know, that's okay. And I think Marvel might bank on that because, if he's not widely known, then people are going to be like, oh my God. Just like how Agatha, Harkness. There you go. There you go.
All right, who plays
Agatha
me,
wasn't
man?
really widely known.
He looks like a Green Lantern. Is that Frank Quitely art?
No, I think it's Lionel
Francis Yu.
Okay. Who plays me, man?
Look, my personal favorite that I hope that they could do the what's that guy's name? The Allstate guy. That'd be cool.
Dennis Haysbert?
Him?
Isn't he too old though?
Blue Marvel is kind of older.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I personally would think it'd be amazing if you give that to Will Smith. Give it to Will Smith.
No.
You give it to Will Smith.
You did that in Hancock, dude. Come on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sure.
The proof is there.
To Don's point, Blue Marvel is not an internet breaker. Will Smith showing up on a Marvel show is an internet breaker. I think that's how they pull it on.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's probably not him. If it's John Krasinski,
oh my gosh,
everybody loses their mind.
Yes,
it's done.
Don, do you need a fainting couch?
I do. I mean,
you're talking about like a fan favorite, a fan casting, Marvel actually listening to the fans. I mean, how is that not parallel to everything with Luke Skywalker.
I mean, they listened.
Disney
listened to the fans with Mandalorian and Ahsoka.
They sure did with Ahsoka. Yeah. So
the hard part is, can they keep
that a secret?
Yeah, because I assume these 3 episodes are in the can and they're done. Yeah. So they're not like other shows that are still being written and done right now for 2 weeks from now, kind of thing. So yeah, they kept
easiest way. Easiest way to do it. Easiest way to do it, like under wraps. Yeah. They make it a Zoom call. They make it a Zoom call on that. So that way nobody knows. Like maybe Kevin Feige has like the file, and it's just a one-way conversation. Even the cast won't even know.
Right.
I think that'd be amazing.
And edit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they could totally do that.
That's it. And you put the little gray on the man's head. Ooh, you put the little gray on his head.
Right. They have products just for that.
It's done.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It will no longer be a quiet place.
But you're right. People will lose their minds. Like, can't wait.
Yeah.
Here's something I want to talk about, because it was the one moment of weakness in the entire series that, I don't even know there's anything that I've had to look past or be like, whatever. It's a good show. This was a moment where it was like the accumulation of 6 episodes of goodwill undone for me for about 15 seconds. And it's something that we've referenced. It's I know you guys like to see Wu kicking ass, but all right, they're being taken into custody, escorted off the base, being put on a transport. All of a sudden, one of them gets loose, and they all start fighting these military guys.
Not all.
Sure. Okay. Well, but the thing is, there's 2 people taking down 3 or 4 people, but in the background, you've got soldiers walking around and patrolling the base. Like, no one sees this going on. No one hears anything.
It's nighttime.
Yeah.
They could be having a melee or a dance. Who knows?
No, there are people walking through the background of the shot during this entire fight and afterwards. It's one thing like in Star Wars when they've got the empty hangar bay and they send the stormtroopers up into the Millennium Falcon. You can't see anything. Right. This is something else. Now I let it go because I'm like, okay, I guess this is how they're getting there. But it was not a smart moment in a series that prides itself, I think, on smart writing.
Fair enough.
That they could have had they could have had one of them taken into custody. He like lifts his cap off and it's Will Smith and he's there to help.
When we get to the CinemaSins version of this show, that'll be there.
Yes. Okay, so nitpick over. You know what, Mark?
Yeah.
Yep. See?
But here's the thing. I'm watching a show that is smarter than all of those movies. I've seen those movies, and this show is smarter than that. So, point taken, point rejected, but with a big heart. I should find a way to put the heart emoji up on the screen. I can't. I'm not supposed to.
Pay attention to every detail.
This coming from you.
I'm saying that was just a play from Wanda. Because Wanda can't keep up, so why should the show keep up?
So speaking of Wanda, after this episode, she's pretty much done. Meaning she's done. We got an idea last episode and definitely in this episode. She's done hiding. She's done. She's done with all this. She's like, look, I don't care. I'm tired of. I want to be myself. I'm tired of hiding. And it was fun in the 50s and 60s and maybe a little bit in the 70s, but now
they're still doing the Modern Family though.
No, but see, like she totally showed her magic in the last episode when she conjured up that dog collar right in the kitchen. And she totally showed her magic here in the town square. Right next to her brother while Vision was wandering off. She's done. She and when she realized that Vision was in trouble, with the soldiers last episode, she's done. With this episode, she's like, all right, gloves are off.
She's coming after the world, assuming that she's in control of what the Hex is doing at that point.
Well, I don't know what her motivations are going to be moving forward, because at this point, she doesn't know that Sword's involved. All she knows at this point, she's just acting on pure emotion, which I think is.
She looked like she knew Hayward though. Like I think she knows.
No. She just knew that Vision was in trouble, that he was dying. She didn't know if Sword was doing something.
Yeah, but her son said soldiers.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, on top of that, when she broke in to take Vision's body, was that from a shield facility or a sword
facility?
Okay, so she might.
She knows.
Yeah,
By the way, time out. And I have to harken back to my double vision theory.
Or Harkness back, as it were.
Or Harkness back. Couple things just to throw out there. One, when Darcy was hacking into that laptop and she went into Hayward's files, cataract.
Cataract. What does a cataract do? Obscure vision.
Double vision. Blurred vision.
It's all coming together.
Second thing.
Right. Okay.
Vision has told us that he can't remember anything prior to Westview.
He doesn't know what Avengers are.
He doesn't know he's dead.
Any of that.
All of it.
Why?
Because he's dead.
Quicksilver, on the other hand, remembers everything.
Next week I'm going to be great, fellas. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Why is Quicksilver able to remember things from Age of Ultron, but Vision can't remember anything prior to Westview? In my opinion, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, let's just say this all comes from Wanda's mind. Let's just say that, right? If it's coming from Wanda's mind, then yeah, she can bring back her brother, and the only thing she can that he will remember are things that she remembers and things that he remembers.
The memories they had together.
Right. Okay. So she could do that. Let's just say she raised the body from the dead, whatever you want to call it. So that's how he can remember stuff from back then, even to the point where they were kids.
Yeah.
But with Vision, he can't remember even Civil War. He can't remember even like Age of Ultron. Like he doesn't remember any of that.
Wow.
And to me, that just proves that whatever she did to raise that Vision means that that's not the real Vision. Because if it was the real Vision, he would have the memories of the past.
Or
I agree.
Thinking that this is a Sword creation. I think that Sword has been trying to duplicate Vision. Maybe
Vision.
do experiments or whatever. But what she grabbed was not the real one, especially where it was all dissected and stuff.
Well, that's true because
and it's against the law. It's against Sokovia Accords.
Sure. Well, if she grabbed the body, I mean, who's to say? Or even the body. His consciousness is not his body. They could have somehow downloaded that into a disk drive. How old am I? And then
floppy.
You need a bigger thing than a disk drive.
Yeah. He's a 4 gigabyte flash drive.
It's a Sword disk drive. No,
flux capacitor.
It's this big.
Marty.
And the other thing that I noticed that they did this week that they did last week, and it really struck out, is like, why are they emphasizing this? They showed a flashback. Last week they revealed briefly Aaron Taylor Johnson in Age of Ultron, and then the Evan Peters difference, the whole recasting joke. They showed the full clip from Age of Ultron where Quicksilver, Aaron Taylor Johnson version, gets taken out.
Right.
Now, if that was not important, they could have just had a scene where they recreate that with Evan Peters getting shot. But no, I think they're trying to draw the contrast between the Fox and the Disney Marvel universes for some kind of a giant, crisis, as we might say. Yeah.
Well, like where EMan was going with just the way, Evan Peters was talking in his version of PHO, remembering all of what I have to assume are more Aaron Taylor Johnson's memories. It'd be much more of a jaw dropper thing if Evan Peters is remembering his Days of Future Past and Apocalypse memories. Like, I remember that time I, rescued Dad from, from beneath the White House or wherever the hell that place was, in the Pentagon or whatever. But like,
that'd be the true crossover.
Like if Evan Peters had those memories and not Aaron Taylor Johnson's, my, that'd be something.
Well, because I would assume it'd be easier to get McAvoy and Fassbender involved, especially if you're talking like longevity. Than McKellen and Stewart. I mean, no offense to those guys, they're awesome, but I think if they want to move forward, that would be the way to go.
Well, I mean, we also know Fox won't age him. I mean, I made this joke last week. Michael Fassbender is the youngest looking Holocaust survivor I've ever seen in 1994. Come on,
True.
Man,
and I think
for being 74 years old.
There was talks that they were going to bring him in as Doom.
You could do better for Doom than that. I mean, just don't. You got Michael
done, so it's kind of like that was wasted.
Simon Cowell is Doom.
Oh,
Talk about a blast
that's a
from
great
the past.
question. I don't know. That's some fan casting.
I mean, I wanted Mads to play Doom. Like,
that'd be awesome. But he's in Doctor Strange.
Wasted him in Doctor Strange.
I don't know, wasted.
Come on, he was a throwaway villain. Nobody's looking for him. Nobody's caring.
Different video, different day of who's that fan casting.
Or they could do Viggo Mortensen as Doom.
Too old.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I
think there was a report that he turned down Wolverine.
Oh yeah. So he's going to jump into Marvel now? Not a chance.
So are they going to go like with Doom? Do you think they're going to do like they did with the Fantastic Four and try and make him a kid who gets kind of corrupted for the longevity? Or are they going to make him an actual
I think
adult?
they're skipping. They're done with origin stories. Like
you've seen it 3 times.
The most of an origin story you'll get is with really, really new characters like Speed and Wiccan, Monica Rambeau, things like that. But if you've had 3-4 movies like Spider-Man or Fantastic Four to get to know these people, they're not gonna do that. They'll drop the little hints. They'll say like, "Oh yeah, we were in space and some big cosmic wave hit us," But we're gonna jump right into whoever, Doom will just happen to exist. The Richards will happen to exist. And we'll just hit the ground running, I think.
The way they did Spider-Man. And that's perfect because everybody knows it.
We've seen it. We've done it. We don't need to do it again. That's a waste of money.
It is.
Yeah, but in fairness, no one saw the Fantastic Four movie. I don't think the last 3 of them really. Maybe the last 2.
Got suckered into it. So
yeah. Okay, so Mark, this is going back a few minutes. So he was looking at IMDb. Why would they list Josh Stamberg as director, Tyler Hayward, and then just as director Hayward?
Don't trust IMDb.
It's a good
no, I agree.
No, I'm serious. Like, don't trust. Like, they literally manipulate the information on there. Yeah. I mean, I think it was Endgame. It was either Infinity War or Endgame, and like IMDb, probably from pressure from Marvel, they purposely did not list people or they changed things.
You brought this up earlier with Khan and Cumberbatch, where they held that off for at least a little while. Before they dropped the Khan reveal in IMDb. So
they totally manipulate that. So I wouldn't even give it any credence.
All right. Now, let's see. So he also said that she took the body because she knew they were going to build a weapon out of him.
Yeah.
Possibly, and then a nice bit of, let's see. Wait. Sean Bean as Dr. Doom.
No.
But he would only last 1 episode.
No, because that's right. I was just going to say, they'll just kill him off.
Yeah, kill him.
Yeah.
Poor Sean Bean.
Well, maybe that's the big internet breaking twist. He's going to be around for more than 1 episode.
Harrison Ford as Dr. Doom. Get off of my. Oh, sorry.
You need an interdimensional. Interdimensional character for Harrison Ford, so we can say "get off my plane," but mean like plane.
Oh, the plane, like astral plane.
Astral plane.
Right? He needs to be the Uta the Watcher. Period. There we go. Perfect.
Jeez. Jason Alexander as Uta the Watcher. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
We're digressing quickly.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And this guy dressed up as this shit.
I almost forgot to emphasize.
Way to hold your show together, Ian.
What happened at the end? This was confirmation of like what we've been seeing with Wanda. Like her powers are accelerated or amplified with her emotions. Oh, yeah. So the moment she gets riled up because of her PTSD, because she's clearly suffering from trauma, her powers escalate just like that. And what I'm saying is, like, earlier we also saw that in the center of the town, basically where Wanda is, power is the strongest, right? Like, she is the focal point. And once you start going out, people are just looking like Sims, just kind of like being robotic or whatever. Which is the interesting point that we talked about, I want to say in episode 2 or 3, where we were like, oh, wait, we see that the power outages were happening, and we saw Dottie and Mark and, all these other people. And we were like, oh, so they do run their lives. But apparently there's a radius to that. Like, maybe the people that are her immediate neighbors run their lives normally and go to dentist appointments. But the people outside of that, they're still stuck outside, just looking out in the stars or whatever.
Or worse, like
emotionally,
the scan that Darcy was doing. Like, why aren't those people ever moving? And
like, I'm sure their arms hurt. They're gonna be tired.
The next episode better open up with like a whole little circus thing and everything, because they better do a little bit more with that. Now that they changed the whole makeshift sword headquarters into a circus, they got to do a little bit more with that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you think
the mention of Shangri-La is interesting?
I don't know much.
I mean, that could have to do with. That could have to do with Danny Rand, Iron Fist. The Shangri-La wasn't that somewhere else? It wasn't called Shangri-La. No, it wasn't called Shangri-La, but Shangri-La is supposed to be this paradise, right? And this ideal place, which is what is in the hex, right? That's what she created. But
I'm just looking this up now.
Breaking news: Shangri-La is a real place. Shangri-La, Missouri.
No, I'm just wondering, because it's supposed to be in the Himalayan mountains by Tibet and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm wondering if that is just more of a call to Doctor Strange, because that's where that him and the Ancient One were like training and stuff like that. So I wonder if that's just a callback to the whole magic connection that they're doing.
Yeah, or it could be if there is, maybe it's I can't remember the context or who mentioned Shangri-La in the episode. When did that come up?
Quicksilver said that.
Quicksilver came up in a town square. Mark mentioned, didn't Vision run a place called Shangri-La? I think it was actually a spa called Shangri-La.
Oh my god!
Walked into that one, Mark.
Walked right into it.
Speaking of walking,
Pietro mentioned it. Yeah.
Speaking of walking into things, or actually walking out of things, when Vision leaves the hex, we see these great little trails behind him, as if they're like these little tendrils trying to pull him back. Yeah. But as he fights to get out of it, there's some real snap action going on. Yeah. Did you guys catch that? It's like a chunk flies off him, but then he starts to deteriorate into dust.
Yeah,
well, I think it's because EMan's right. Is that just the way that the
right? No. I think
were you crying there? Is that what happened?
No. Just tired. No. I think that was poor Vision. Even an android can cry.
I now know why you cry.
No. I think
keep EMan away from molten steel anytime soon. Okay?
I think anyway, the best explanation I could come up with is. Before we had seen people be able to get sucked into the hex, but you could also forcibly be ejected. But then Wanda went and put her ADT security on there, and now it's like a little bit more secure. And I wonder if that also changed the nature of the hex. Like maybe not only did it prevent people from coming in, because clearly that's what her objective was. Like she was like, I'm sick of you guys throwing drones in here, sealed off. And I'm wondering if that also means that you also can't leave. Like people can't leave if that barrier is shut on both ends. So I'm thinking that, Vision probably just can't leave because of that extra layer that Wanda put on there. Or maybe it's just because he's not a real boy. So the second he walks out, he turns back to a puppet.
That's interesting. Yes. Well, correct. And to that point though, if he is a creation of the hex, that might explain why he is struggling so hard. He doesn't exert any or exhibit any kind of powers or special energy when he's coming out of it. He's not able to fly. So I guess whatever's controlling him is either that powerful or he is just sort of this fabric of whatever's created. His powers, his abilities don't work. He doesn't change. He can change. He can do all sorts of crazy stuff inside the hex, but outside he's barely a person or synthezoid. Yes. And Mark, I do think he dreams of electric sheep.
Only androids do. He's a synthezoid.
Yeah. Go.
What is okay? We're going to end this by answering this question. What is a synthezoid? What's the difference between a synthezoid and an android?
It's that special pillow you use when your neck really hurts, and I just lay in my synthezoid and I feel so much better.
You keep your synthezoid where I can see it, sir.
He's created with the synthesizer.
It's very family 80s. Show. Yeah.
Come on. you just have to ask, huh?
I don't want to know if that's painted. That's a vision I don't need.
That's what I love about the comics is if you're new to a Vision comic or especially the Vision comics from the 70s and 80s, there's always one page where well, I am a synthezoid, which isn't really like a man or a robot or an android. Yeah. I'm a synthezoid. It's dude, this is issue 6 of a 12-issue limited series. You've said this every issue. Oh,
It's in case you're just tuning in.
I know.
Right.
One thing I do want to mention, because I just finished that Vision and Scarlet Witch collection, which I recommend everybody pick up.
Okay.
I love, and it's been a while since I've really been into reading monthly comics, but what I loved is it essentially, this 12-issue series tells the progression of Wanda finding out she's pregnant and then giving birth at the end of issue 12. But it takes place almost in real time, where at the end of an issue, they're like, join us back next month because it'll be Halloween. And then the next issue, it's and join us back next month for Thanksgiving. So a month has passed and we have to kind of catch up with what the characters have been doing. And there's lots been going on in between, instead of just it being like a cliffhanger. We're going to find out what happens in the next 5 minutes next issue. So yeah, that's just an aside, but yeah, check it out. It's really good stuff. But I think, yeah, that's where we'll end it tonight, except I did forget something I wanted to mention, and this is just for Mark. When Evan Peters was talking to Elizabeth Olsen in that carnival, and he was getting kind of serious about stuff, it was a real Kevin Bacon style performance. I was imagining him in that. Like, there's something about his voice and his mannerisms, like that's Kevin Bacon, and Mark will know why that's important. But all right, guys, any last words? I know I'm getting ready to end the show, but is there anything we want to leave on? Any kind of tidbits or last thoughts?
I am completely stoked on my guy will be here in an hour. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where that's going to go. I'm very interested to see if the next 3 episodes are going to be very different. I don't think we're totally done with the whole sitcom homage, because I think that there seemed to be like a mention, or in some of the previews, where Elizabeth Olsen is like kind of doing that facing the camera kind of confession type thing, almost
that's
like
the Modern Family. We're in Malcolm in the Middle territory. We've still got like 10 years to go.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
2010 or something.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Modern Family or The Office or a combination or whatever. But I do think that things are really going to come to a head soon for Wanda.
Yeah.
I really liked the line that Monica had where she was just like, I forget what the line was, where she was basically like, if she's the problem, let's make it. Let's make her our solution too.
Yeah.
And also she said, look, I kind of know what she's going through. Meaning what? Remember the G word we've been talking about? Grief, right? So, I think that I'm not going to say she's going to have a meltdown. It's going to be more like a release of this grief that she's been, we didn't talk about this, but she did mention that Pietro asked her, well, what happened to you? How did you do this? And she's like, honestly, I don't know. It's almost like kind of a blank. That could have something to do with Agatha, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
But I'm not sure. But she didn't know. She doesn't really know how this happened. So I think what I'm hoping is in these next 3 episodes, we're going to find a lot more about Wanda and a lot more about Agnes.
And I hope that this is apropos of nothing. I love the costume Elizabeth Olsen was wearing. Mostly the headpiece. Well, look, I may have rewound the coming down the stairs several times, but I'm just saying the headpiece was awesome. That could be like big screen, Scarlet Witch headpiece.
Yeah. Technically, that headpiece should only work in the comics, and she rocked it.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's not something that needs to be redesigned because they have to change everything for the new version. It really works.
Too,
As far as the luchador costume, well,
I like the play also for that. Yeah. And he was like, "Well, what is it? I like you like Mexican wrestling." I was like, "That works."
You're a traffic light. You're a booger.
It works.
That's why I'm a booger. He just gets his British broken.
But to David's point, I do think that's actually where the show's going to end. I think I do think there will be a big climactic battle. It's either going to be a Vision versus Vision battle, which I'm really banking on.
Double Vision.
I want this double Vision to work. I'm just saying.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
Or there can be Harry
Monica.
Potter battle of wizards or magic or something, But even if that happens, I think at the end of the day, it'll be kind of like a regular TV sitcom. Somebody sits down with Wanda the music starts playing in the background, and they start talking to her about grief, how to handle it. Then it becomes an after-school special, and then she just stops.
It'll end like Bob Newhart. They'll wake up in bed.
It just stops.
Honey, go back to bed.
And then they just turn to the cameras and be like, if you need help with grief,
call Dr. Strange.
Right.
It'll end it with a commercial. That'd be genius.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I could totally see them just kind of ending it like that.
As far as, when you mentioned battles, as far as that's concerned, this episode touched on the fact that Monica's DNA is changing.
I dig
because they're going into the hex. So,
did that make sense to you guys? Because
kind of.
I was like,
you said it. What
you
goes
want
in
this stuff
comes
to
out?
make sense?
No, because like when I was doing my live, I didn't want to presume that people got it. Because again, like we know as comic readers that she's going to get powers, but I didn't know if like the average person really understood, what the deal was with her X-rays, why her DNA is changing, and why it's so different compared to anybody else that gets sucked into the hex. Because the question I kept hearing was, people were like, well, is everyone going to turn into mutants? Is everyone going to get powers? And I'm like, no, because what happened to Monica was very unique. And they explain it within the show, but I didn't know if that was something everybody immediately grasped. Or
it's very much like a Hulk situation, or going back to like The Fly. There's an experiment that kind of like you mix up with something, you're teleported, and all of a sudden you come out kind of wrong. So that's a pretty good shorthand.
Every spider bite doesn't give you powers.
They
only
don't?
the radioactive ones. Only the radioactive ones.
Depends who's writing the comic.
That too. That too.
Great point.
All right, so Mark, one last question. What if Sword is building her up on purpose to test out a new anti-super person weapon?
I like that. Anti-super person.
Yeah.
Anti-super perspirant. Person weapon.
I don't know. I don't think they would build her up, but I do think they have countermeasures. Like, I'm not saying it's Sentinels, but I would see something similar to Sentinels being a thing for them, especially now that they're sentient weapons, observation, and
I wonder which senator would give such an approval to that at a government level.
Well, they got rid of the Hydra one, so now
if Gary Shandling, God rest his soul, was still here, that'd be a great cameo.
Or Bruce Davison from the first X-Men.
Now we're talking.
Now here's a question.
Nice crossover.
Going back to EMan's earlier theory about Mordo, could Hayward be him in disguise, monitoring the situation, somehow working with Agatha and manipulating Vision on the inside?
You know what? So like the funny thing with theories, right, is that once you put something out there, people start feeding it and coming up with their own. And I was reading the comics, and I was reading the comments section.
Are we talking politics now?
Release the Snyder Cut. Is that where we're going? Come on.
I was reading the comments section of that video, and someone was saying, like, hey, if Mordo is out there, because his main thing is like there are too many sorcerers, too many, people dealing with magic, and if Agatha is, if Agnes is a witch, maybe one of her motivations is to siphon power away from Wanda to protect herself from Mordo. And I was like, ooh, now you kind of make her a great, ambiguously get, like, maybe this is survival, like that commercial.
Yeah.
Credit to whoever made that comment, because, I didn't even say Mordo was the main villain. I just said, like, if the concept of stealing magic is a thing, maybe that's something for Agnes. But the fact that people were like, hey, maybe she's doing that to protect herself, I'm like, mind blown. Like, congrats.
Well, and maybe there's more than one agent of Mordo, like an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. inside the Hex. What if Agnes and Herb are working together, but conspiring? Perhaps they are sent in there by Mordo to do this thing. Maybe they don't even have abilities. They're just sort of apprentices. Like Mordo's like, I'm going to share some of this power. You guys help me pull off the heist of the century. I'll cut you in on the deal. I'm way spitballing out there. None of this is going to come true unless it does. But so we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you very much for another lively episode. We'll be back here next week at 8:30 p.m. Central with Earth's Mightiest Critics. That is Don the Vision Shanahan of 25 Years Later and Every Movie Has a Lesson, Emmanuel Noisette of EMan's Movie Reviews, and David Fowley of Keeping It Real. Thanks again, guys. Oh, Mark Krawczyk of the Spoiler Room. Oh, by the way, join us Tuesday night on Mark's YouTube channel for a live stream where we'll be talking at 9:30 p.m. Central. We'll be talking about Judge Dredd.
Ooh.
Which
God
one?
bless you.
Dredd.
God bless you.
I am law. Yeah.
Good luck, man.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
But
We're all doing it.
it's contagious.
Could do the Rob Schreier.
he
Hey,
doesn't even follow the Mandalorian code.
Hmm?
He doesn't even follow the Mandalorian code.
He
takes
has
his helmet off.
He's got
takes
his helmet on for like 5 minutes of that movie.
5 minutes.
Yeah, they learned their mistakes with the Carl Urban version.
His genealogy to Cobra.
Wait,
Yeah.
is this after you guys watched
Carl-
Demolition Man?
That's the theory that we're working on. Yes.
Carl Urban definitely fixed it. He
Yes.
fixed it.
Is this after you watched Demolition Man?
Yeah, we did.
that's
We
right.
talked
Yeah, you
Demolition
did
Man
last week.
this week.
That's
So
a nice
you can catch
follow.
that on his channel. That was a lot of fun, and we started drawing up theories as to how basically all the characters Stallone played in the 1990s and in the late 80s are part of the same bloodline. So yeah, check that out.
I'd like to see you revisit The Specialist. Ooh boy.
Ooh.
Oh my
I'll take
God!
Assassin.
You just put that
I'd
trailer
take
in my head,
Assassin.
and wow! All right, I'm gonna need to go see a specialist now.
So
Thank you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you back here next week. And if you're out there watching this now and you like this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe and follow all these guys. Their information is down below. And yes, till then, we will catch you later.
What the heck?
What the heck? Have a wonderful weekend.
oh, heck,
Oh,
yeah.
well played. The
Yeah.
puns are out, man.
I know. I'm sorry.